We've all experienced disappointment in our lives. I'm sure all of us have stories of disappointment. The main thing with disappointment is that we have unmet expectations. We expect things to be one way, turns out another way, we end up being disappointed. You can have unmet expectations with people all the time. You thought that person would remember your birthday, and they don't. Stab of disappointment. You ask that person to hang out the washing that's in the machine, and they don't. You come home, it's still in the machine. And we can have unmet expectations with God, that God's going to do something, or He's going to do something by a certain time, and He doesn't. The problem with disappointment is that it can tempt us to drink the poison of distrust. It can be like an acid that festers on the foundations of our faith. We see an example of that in the book of Jonah. He's an Old Testament prophet sent to Nineveh, which is in Assyria, and Assyrians were some of the worst people in the world at that time. The captured people that they got a hold of, they would skin alive. These are nasty people. But God sends Jonah to tell them that they're about to be judged for their evil, but that there's good news. If they turn around and turn to God, that He'll forgive them. Jonah goes, doesn't want to go, runs away, big fish. And he gets there, preaches a really lackluster message. The whole city repents and turns to God. And then we see how Jonah feels about that in chapter 3, verse 10. When God saw what they did, the Ninevites, how they turned from their evil way, God relented of the disaster that He had said He would do to them, and He did not do it. But it displeased Jonah exceedingly, and he was angry. And he prayed to the Lord and said, O Lord, is not this what I said when I was yet in my country? That is why I made haste to flee to Tarshish. For I knew that you are a gracious God and merciful, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love, and relenting from disaster. In this passage, Jonah is disappointed that God didn't destroy the Ninevites. He expected God to do it, and he says to God, I knew you would do this. I knew you would forgive and show mercy. The word for displeased that Jonah feels is the same Hebrew word as the word for evil that the Ninevites were doing. So it's as evil to Jonah that God forgave as it is what the Ninevites were doing. So his disappointment in God had turned fully to distrust. So remember, disappointment itself is not the problem, because that's inevitable. It's only when it tempts us to drink the poison of distrust.